Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another beta news update. What is this, the third one that we've done so far? So today we have some juicy tidbits of information that have come out about the beta. Obviously, as you know, today, the 20th at 1 p.m., so we've got a couple hours till that starts, the open beta begins. Well, before the open beta began, we got two juicy tidbits of information, and I'll start out with this one first. So this is a post by Pez Radar, the community manager on the Diablo 2 official forums. He also posts on Reddit as well. This is where a lot of people will follow him and check for information. Somebody said, "I'm ecstatic. They're pretty much delivering on everything that I've been wanting as far as tweaks to the original game, minus one thing, cow kill not locking us out of farming cows." And he said, "Oh yeah, that's a thing. You can kill Cow King and not be locked out in D2R." And somebody said, "Holy cow, it just gets better." I don't know if I would call these cows holy. So very, very, very interesting information there. Very nice information. Confirmation, finally, that killing the Cow King will not, in fact, remove the cow portal option from your character. Now, I think a lot of us veterans knew workarounds for that, but it is very nice that we no longer have to apply those workarounds, and we can just have fun killing the Cow King as we want to. Next up on the list is another interesting tidbit of information, which is the beta patch notes. Now, I did already post a video on these beta patch notes, but what I didn't do was talk about them. I was in such a rush to get them up here that I didn't actually go through the process of giving my thoughts and talking about the issues exactly. So let's go over it again, and then we're going to talk about it afterward. So. Hi all, this was from Community Manager Hooley. Over the last week, we have seen much speculation and reactions from the community around the subject of ladder play releasing post-launch. We want to make sure this opportunity to share the ladder-only runeword, unique items, and Herogic Cube recipes that were once restricted to ladder rank play will now for the first time be included in non-ladder multiplayer and single player. So very, very interesting there. Right off the bat, we have a comment about ladder-only rune words, ladder-only unique items, and ladder-only Herogic Cube recipes being no longer restricted, essentially, to ladder rank play, which it kind of mixed reaction with this. Like for me, I personally think that it's a great idea to include it in single player play. I am ecstatic that the single player players can have a chance to do this on their own. However, I'm not entirely sure about adding it to non-ladder multiplayer. I feel like non-ladder multiplayer was always a incentive to go play ladder. So, if you were playing non-ladder and you looked at all these juicy rune words and uniques that you couldn't have, you would go, oh, maybe I'll go participate in ladder, and this was the thing that got people to play ladder. And by taking away the ladder-only rune words, the unique items, and the Herogic Cubes from ladder uniquely, they are essentially removing a lot of the incentive to play ladder. And I think we might actually see a lot more people play non-ladder, just simply because if they're not interested in the things that ladder has to offer now, then there's no reason for them to play ladder. And what does ladder still have to offer? Well, there's two things that ladder still has to offer. Number one is a fresh start for everybody. So ladder has always been and will always be a fresh start mechanic, where the slate is wiped clean and everybody has to start from point one, which I think is really cool. It is actually very fun to start from scratch and build up your characters again. The second thing that it offers is a competition to get to level 99. And as long as as long as the bots are under control in ladder, I can see that competition being a real thing. I think people would actually like to do a competition for number one rank on the ladder, which is pretty cool. But if the bots are still a thing, then that number one rank on the ladder is meaningless, because the bots just play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm interested to see if they will provide another incentive for playing ladder. I feel like they need to at this point because they've removed pretty much all of the incentive for playing ladder. Kind of like the same way Diablo 3 has seasons and every season has new sets of armor. And so you've got like this incentive to go pick up the new season and play. But what is the incentive specifically for Diablo 2 ladder at this point? I just feel like there isn't one anymore. Unless you want to compete and unless you want a fresh start, I feel like there's almost no reason to play on ladder. You might as well just play on non-ladder. And, you know, they touch on some other things here too. We understand that these items complement prominent builds and playstyles cherished by the community. Furthermore, we have heard the community asked to include these items into single-player experience for quite some time. Now players playing solo can partake in the metas that have been popularized from the original ladder experience. And then they go on. Furthermore, single player will now also include access to the Pandemonium event and Uber Diablo content, which I think is amazing for single player to get this stuff. Previously, it was only capable via mods. And as I've talked about in some of my previous live streams, World of Tanks is a game company that included and incorporated mods into their product. So over the years, as people made mods for their product, they would then go and take those good mods, the ones that were worthwhile, and incorporate them into the game. And including the Pandemonium event, Uber Diablo content, the ladder rune words, the ladder uniques, the Heroic Cube recipes into single player is what I would consider a good mod inclusion. To mitigate server impact and protect server stability of the game during the launch window, we plan to have ladder rankings and listings to be implemented shortly after launch. This will enable players to have a fair chance to partake in the race that comes with the first season's ladder. For Diablo II Resurrected and not run into any possible launch window stability issues that could impede that experience. Once we have a more precise gauge on this front, we will notify the community of the exact date and time in September. Now this part kind of confused me when I read it the first time, because they're saying they're going to notify us of the exact date and time in September, but the game launches September 23rd. How many days are left in September after September 23rd? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days left in September. Certainly they didn't mean to write the exact date and time in September, because that would imply that they're going to let us know in September that it's going to be in September. I guess what they probably meant to say was we will notify the community of the exact date and time, you know, in September, as in, you know, like before September is over, we're going to let you know when the date is going to be, but it's not going to be in September. We hope this provides clarity on our intentions with the ladder and related systems at launch. We look forward to sharing the ladder start times with the community once we have locked it in. We'll provide early enough notice so players can make the appropriate accommodations for their race, $2.99. I hope you know that most jobs require a 2-week notification prior to vacation time, usually 3 weeks. So I hope that you're going to let us know at least 3 weeks in advance. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have any vacation time to plan around this now because I already used all mine up. But thanks, Blizzard. And let's see, patch notes. So we've got our patch notes here, and I did read these before, but I'll go ahead and read them again. A new patch is being staged for PC, Xbox, PlayStation prior to the open beta. Read below to learn more about the latest changes. And you go down here, and it says functionality changes. Skill purchases now require separate button presses on the controller. Apparently, people were accidentally putting in their skills, and you know, it's understandable, like, because you can't refund them, obviously, so that's a thing. Maybe they could include some sort of temporary refund feature, or like if you plug the skill into the wrong place, you know, you could maybe undo it within like 3 minutes, or maybe 2 minutes, or maybe like 30 seconds even, like just a tiny little thing so that if I accidentally put something in the wrong spot, I could undo it. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but they're basically saying they kind of made it a little bit more difficult to put your skills in, which I think is a good thing. We made this change because many players were accidentally allotting points to skills they didn't intend to. We hope this change will mitigate that issue, especially since it's more difficult for players to respec in Diablo 2. We also have bug fixes here, so stability and performance. Fixed several bugs that could cause a crash upon launching the game. Fixed a bug that could cause players to crash when toggling into the legacy mode. Fixed a bug that could cause players to crash when opening a trade window. Fixed a bug that could cause players to crash when the skill select window prompted. Fixed a bug that caused degraded performance over time. That was the memory leak issue that I had encountered. Fixed several bugs that could cause a crash when encountering poor server connectivity. Fixed several bugs that could cause a crash on consoles. Added several client and server network optimizations. Fixed a bug preventing players from accepting party invites while the game window was minimized. And fixed a bug preventing players from toggling on or off their paladin auras. So very interesting. I encountered quite a few of these bugs over the beta, and it is very, very nice to see that they are fixing these. And I really want to say this, you know, it's a beta. There's going to be crashes. And as they work to fix these things, as we report these bugs, they should fix them. And I'm really glad that they took the time to apply a patch for us, even though they really didn't have to. You know, because this is a beta test, all the beta feedback that they're going to get is going to go into, you know, fixing the game. They don't have to pass that fix on to the beta testers. It's our job, you know, to find those bugs, report them so that they can fix them. But I believe that it was kind of important that they put some fixes in, because I'm going to be honest with you, if they hadn't, I think people would have rioted. There's too many people out there who are used to the early access style games that are ready but not ready, that are released early but should have waited a little while, that don't have everything finished. And they kind of feel like these days, I guess, that a beta is more like an early access test, and it's not. So betas are buggy, crashy, horrible things, and I'm glad they did this, though, for the people who can't see past the forest to see the trees, because for those people, these fixes will at least make the game look more stable in their eyes, and hopefully allay some fears. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching these videos, and thanks for watching. And keep watching. Messed up my own outro.